Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. Today in this video we will learn about how to obsolete the code in the Business Central. Okay, so exactly just like for example we want to release a new version of our existing app and in that new version we realize that some of the things, some of the code which we have written in the previous version uh, is not required now and it needs to be deleted. Okay, so what happen is that if your application is a part of the app source, then you cannot directly delete that particular code of your application, be it any object, be it any field, any action button, any procedure. So you cannot delete just like that. If you try to delete any existing field, any existing procedures, right, or any existing object, and specifically if that object is global, which can be extended by other partners, then it will be very difficult uh, for you to publish the new release or the new version of your app, because you will not be able to do so. System will show you the breaking changes. Okay, system will show you the error. Breaking changes means the errors. The errors will state like that the object was the part of the previous version, or the field was a part of the previous version, but it is not available in the new version. Okay, so in that sense, to handle those errors or to handle those requirements where we don't need a particular code in our application, we want to delete that, but we cannot. So how to handle that part, let's learn in this video. Okay, so there is a concept of obsoleting the code which has been introduced by the Microsoft in the Business Central. So we will learn about that today. And you can see here that I have created one project where there are certain objects in my application. One is table, this is table 1, this is table 2, and then we have the pages, the respective pages as well, and one code unit. Okay, so now I have already released this version. The version is 1.0. Now I want to release a second version of it, but the thing is I want to obsolete, I want to delete some of the code. So how will I do it? So let's begin with that. So for example, let's say this is my table, and here what I want to do is that I don't want this field. Okay, I want to remove this field, but I cannot directly delete this code, this field. So the best way to do this is that there are certain properties which we have to add in our code which we want to obsolete. So the properties are, one is obsolete state, another one is obsolete. Okay, wait, let me put the values here. So if you press control space, you will find the three values here: no, pending, and removed. Okay, so ideally we have to deal with these two values. First is pending and second one is removed. So when you are working for the first time in your application with regards to this obsolete process, so you have to go with the pending. That means this is the first time when you are obsoleting this particular field. So you have to start with the pending. So it is like an intimation to your customers, to your partners, and for you also, that now the obsolete process of this field is started, and in the newer versions this field will not be available. Okay, next thing is obsolete reason. So here you have to, it's a text field, and here you have to give any particular reason for your obsolescence, that why exactly you are obsoleting this field. So for example, I can give like that uh, maybe you will require a new field we will create. Okay, so you can pass the reference of that new field. Okay, let's say you create a field 4, so you can pass that reference. In case you are not doing so and you just want to delete this, so you have to cite the genuine reason, like whatever the reason could be, that no need of this field. Okay, so reason could be anything, but you have to be sure enough that what exactly the thing, the reason behind your obsolescence on this field. Okay. Ideally, if we delete one field, then we have to give one new field as well. Okay. So now the another property is obsolete tag. So this is very important, and what Microsoft follows in their base application is that whenever they obsolete any particular field or any particular object, so they pass the current version of that base application. So for example, currently Business Central 21 is the stable version, so they pass here 21.0. Okay, so this means that this will tell the other developers, this will get an all the other developers who will work on this application in the future will get an idea that okay, this is the first time for the version 21 this field got obsoleted. Okay, and now once you write this code, this field will become obsolete. Okay, and now you can see here that if I go to this page where I have added this field, I have started getting the warning that or you can say here, see here, problem that field date and time is marked for removal. Reason is that whatever the reason we have given, and the tag is this. Okay, so the thing is, this is now a problem in your extension, although it will not give you any error or something right now, because you have mentioned here that this is the field which is in a pending state. It is not completely removed, and if you push this release to the Business Central, then also this field is very much available for all your clients, and this field is visible to your user can see, user can input the data and so on. But the thing is, now after you have set this to pending, you must have to wait for at least 1 year, after which you can set this to removed. Okay, so for example, currently Business Central 21 version is available. So at that point of time, you have set this to pending. Now, what happens is that after 1 year, when let's say Business Central version 23 get launched, so at that point of time, you will have to set this obsolete state to removed, and then you can set the version or the tag as obsolete tag as 23, which means that for the version 23 you are actually setting the obsolete state as removed. Okay, and now as you can see that as soon as I push change the state of this obsolete process as removed, I have started getting the errors. Right now I cannot publish this, sorry, I cannot, if I try to, I'm getting an error. Right, so now the thing is, first of all, I cannot directly go ahead with the removed. First of all, I have to start with the pending, and let me change the state as 21, and now if I compile, it is successfully compiling, no error is we are getting. Okay, so I hope you get an idea of how to obsolete any particular field. Okay, in the same fashion, if you want to obsolete any object, then also these three properties will come in use, that I can copy these fields, and if I want, I can go to the property section of any object, be it table, be it page, be it code unit. Okay, and there also I can paste these properties, and based on that, this means that you are now setting this object as obsolete. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I just wanted to delete to obsolete one of the field of this object. Okay, but I have told you now that how to obsolete an object as well. Now let's see how to obsolete an action button. So let's go to this page, and here you can see that I have one action button available, and let's say I want to obsolete this action button. So what I do here is that I can copy all my properties, because these properties are also like available for buttons as well, to obsolete the buttons. That now I have set this button to uh, obsolete state, that this button will be currently in a pending state, and maybe after 1 year this action button will not be available. Right now, this is how we can obsolete the buttons. let's see how we can obsolete the procedures. So this is my code unit, and here you can see that I have two procedures available. So how to obsolete these two procedures? So for the procedures, rather than we set out any properties like obsolete state or reason or tag, we have to set the obsolete attribute. So to set the obsolete attribute against any procedure, what you have to do is that you have to go to the top line of the procedure and just type obsolete with the big brackets. Okay, and now it takes two parameters. First is a reason parameter and second one is a tag parameter, right? So there is no obsolete state you have to mention as pending or removed. It's just that you have to pass reason and the tag. So I can pass here my reason, no need, okay, of this procedure, and then the version in which I am actually obsoleting this my procedure. Got it? So now it's done, and if I go back to my main page where I have defined a section, you can see that now I'm getting this warning that method send is marked for removal, reason no need, and tag is 21.0. But if I compile, it is not giving me any sort of error. And if I want to publish this, I can very well publish this as well. So let's do one thing. Let's change the version of this app as 2.0, where in the second version of the release, I have obsoleted my one field, right? My one procedure and one of the actions as well. So let's build the project and let's publish the project. After we publish this project, I will show you that there will be no change in the functionality of your application. All the fields, all that action buttons, all that procedures will very well available in your extension because we have just set the state to pending. Okay. So type here main, and if you see here that this date time is very well available, I can use it and put out any data. And if I show you my action button, send is available, I can click on it and it is working perfectly fine, no problem in that. Okay, now let's see how Microsoft handle their obsolete code. Okay, so let's type on Google obsolete code in Business Central, and let's open this first line. So here they are mentioning best practices for deprecation of AL code. So what they're saying is that to obsolete the code, Microsoft follows the concept of preprocessor directives. Okay, which it is the conditional directive where they use hash f, hash else, hash and if, and some of the symbols like clean 15, clean 16, clean 17. So these are the symbols which you can consider as a variable. Okay, and you can see and read this note that these symbols are not shipped with the product. So what they're saying here is that whenever they want to remove something from the system, which means they don't want to run this, okay, they don't want this code to run. Okay, so what they do is that they use the preprocessor conditional directive hash if and then not and then this symbol clean 18 or clean 19, or like clean is the symbol and 18 they used whatever the tag you are adding in your obsolete code. Okay, and hash and if in the same fashion they are using hash if not clean 17 and hash and if, which means that uh, if it is available in your project, then it will return false and this code will not run. It's not like that it actually check for the version of your business central, that if I set here clean 18, which means that it should check the version of the business central should be 18, then only it will run, otherwise it will not run. So it's not like that. Okay, so let's see and follow this best practice which has been which Microsoft is following in their applications, that how we can follow this concept. Okay, so first of all, let's say I want to obsolete this action. Okay, and to obsolete this action using those preprocessors things, I have created one another procedure called match, where like I want to remove this function and I want that this function should be run now. So how I can make sure that this all will be done without any problem? So what I have to do is that I have to write hash if not then clean and 21. Why 21? Because my tag is set to 21. Okay, then clean 21 is just a symbol, it's just a variable, that's it. It does not have any other importance. I can write here my name as well, like Kapil or something like that. Okay, so it's not, does not make any much difference. So clean 21 here. Then now just type here hash else and after hash and if. Okay, so what this means, that first of all I have defined one symbol in my object code unit. So to make this symbol that compiler should check or this should work successfully, so I have to define this symbol. Okay, so how to define this particular symbol globally? Okay, if you want this symbol should be available only in particular object, then you can define here that as hash define clean 21. Okay, but if you want this particular symbol should be available globally to all the objects, then you have to go to the app.json, and here what you have to do is that you have to set out one property called preprocessor symbols, and here you have to type clean 21, right? In case you want to define some more symbols, you can always very well do it, like clean like let's say clean 20 and so on. Okay, but it totally depends on like how many symbols you are adding in your objects of the extension. Okay, so let me do that. Let me define it in this way. Okay, so now, which means that first of all let's read this code. This means that hash if, it's like a if normal if, that if not clean 21, which means if I have not defined clean 21, then like clean 21 is, let's say, is not available in app.json, which means false, and not false means true. So this code will be run. If I don't define clean 21 in the app.json, then this code will run. If I define the clean 21 in my app.json, which means that this will return false and this code will not run, and the compiler will automatically come here as hash else. Okay, so and this message will run. So let's see that. Control Shift, let me change the app.json version to 3 and Control Shift B. Sorry, I'm getting an error. Does not contain a definition for send. Right. So you can see here that I am getting the code. I am getting the error. Why error? Because I have defined the symbol in the preprocessor symbol things. That means it is very well written false. So it is not running. This code is not running at all. Okay. And this code is now removed. And because this code is removed, that means this procedure send is not available, right? If this procedure send is not available, then the code which I have written here is not available, right? If I show you send dot, you can see that my code unit have now only match function available other than the standard run trigger. There is no send button available. If I see here, you can see although the send is defined, but this code is not running because it is uh, defined under the block hash if conditional directive preprocessor statement. So preprocessor statement, as the name suggests, that before you actually start the compiling, it is already compiled and it is running behind it. Okay, so this code system is checking that now the send is not available. So let's handle this condition and go to your main. And what we can do here is that let's define this obsolete tag, this preprocessor thing here as well. Hash if not clean 21, then this action should run. Okay. Otherwise, hash else, and let's copy this code. You can see here that my error will be removed. Okay, let's change it to match, change the caption to match, remove the obsolete thing, and send dot match. Okay, and hash and if. Got it? Now if I compile this, no error. That means because clean 21 is defined, so because clean 21 is defined, so that means it is returning false and this code is not actually running or visible for my extension. Okay, so that means if you see here that although send dot thing I have written, but no error is coming. No error is coming. Send function is not available because of the code written in this under the preprocessor, but it's no error. If I type here something like this, then also you can see if you compile, no error is coming because it is not running at all. It is not available at all. For compiler, it is not available. So this is the beauty, this is the advantage of using the preprocessor statements in your code, that before actually compilation they are already compiled. Okay, and system is not checking at all anything here. Let's build the project and let's deploy the project. And we will see that now this send button is not available on my page and only match is available and match will run. Okay, so let's go to the main page. And if you see here action, see only match function is available and no send procedure is available. If I click, my match procedure is running because send is not at all available. This is not available, right? So this is how the obsolete process or obsolete concept works in the business central. And guys, I just want to make sure that you should not delete any code just like that. Please follow this concept of obsolescence, otherwise it will be a big blunder for your application, for all your partners, for all your customers who are using your extension. Okay, one more last thing which I want to say here is that generally if you obsolete any field, okay, if you obsolete any field and if you want to remove any field, then you have to be extra cautious. Extra cautious means because you are working with the fields, which means that customer has already have some data in that deprecated field, right? And now if you remove this field, then what will happen to that data, right? Data is dear to the customer, so we cannot overrule that thing. We cannot misjudge on our development part from the data perspective. So we have to think about that how to handle that data of the obsolete field. Okay, so to handle the data of the obsolete field is that what we can do, that we can create let's say another field. Okay, and like sample date time. Okay, and then date time, and then what you can do is that you can create a upgrade code unit. Okay, T code unit, let's say 5102, and then subtype as upgrade. Okay, now you can use the triggers like on upgrade per company, on upgrade per database, or validate like first of all obviously you have to use this either on upgrade per company or on upgrade per database. Like here you can define a procedure to transfer all the data from your one field, from the obsolete field to the new field, right? So transfer the transfer, like you can write down that you have to create a variable of your table, then simply just find, set, repeat until, and then write the code of moving the code from one field to another field. So what will happen is that when your extension will be installed by the customer who already using your previous version of the extension, at that point of time this upgrade code unit will run, and when this will run in the background, this will run this particular trigger as well, and it will execute your code which you have written to transfer the data from your deprecated field to the new field, so that as soon as the customer gets upgraded to the new version of your extension, they will not see any difference because their data is intact, their new field is available, so there will be no problem for your customers, right? So I'm not going to explain about what is upgrade code unit in much detail and how to write the code in the upgrade code unit, because I've already created a video. If you're new to my channel, then you can check out my playlist, and there that upgrade code unit video is available. Okay, so uh, today I believe I have managed to explain at least the concept of obsolescence of code. Although this concept is not that easy to implement, so be very cautious whenever you are obsoleting certain things in your extensions. Okay, so with that note, thank you very much for watching my video. If you like it, request you to please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.